Hello students, in the last video we completed exercise 1C. Okay, we completed 1C and I had told you that 1C was the most important exercise. So I started with that exercise 1C. Now the exercise 1D will get omitted. Okay, do not worry at all, it will get omitted. In exercise 1B we have to do these sums. Question to be done. You can mark in your textbook question number 1, 2, then from 13 to 20. That means I can say that from question number 3 to 12 will get omitted. Okay, on what basis am I saying this? On previous year basis, every year these questions get omitted. Okay, most of the questions from this chapter, rational and irrational, will come from exercise 1C only. This is the most important exercise. Okay, so first you have to focus on this exercise. Once you are thorough with this exercise, you can come to exercise 1B. Okay, even in 1A there are no important sums. So we'll do 1B first. In 1B, as I told you, I repeat once again, we have to do question number 1, 2 and then from question number 13 to 20. Okay, 3 to 12 are omitted. So let's start with the exercise. Now in this exercise you will learn two new concepts about ascending descending order, and second is about to insert a rational or irrational number. Okay, so initially they are in the question number 1 of this exercise. They are only asking you to state whether the following numbers are rational or not. Okay, so for your quick revision, what are rational and what are irrational numbers? So I told you rational numbers like every number like -2, 2, 1.2, 5/3, all these types of numbers are rational numbers. Okay, but what are irrational numbers? Any number which is in the form of a root 2, root 7, who doesn't have a perfect value is a irrational number, including the number pi. Pi is also a irrational number. Okay, so these are called irrational numbers. So we had discussed this in the beginning of exercise 1C. Now few students had even had problem in the topic surds. The exercise 1C, the question number 1 had this topic surds. Okay, so many students had problem in this topic. Do not worry, we'll do this topic again once the classes start, so you can doubt me, you can ask me doubts at the same time. Okay, now let's do question number 1, the first question. Now what if they asked me state whether 2 plus root 2 the whole square is a rational number or not. We have to state whether this is a rational number or not. So what we'll do, first we'll open the bracket using the formula of expansion. So how to open the bracket? A plus b the whole square. See, first term plus second term the whole square. So what is the formula? The formula is a square plus b square plus 2ab. This is the formula for a plus b the whole square. I am writing the formula because substitution becomes easy. Once you write the formula, substitution becomes easy. So this is the formula for a plus b the whole square. Now a is my first term, b is my second term. So let's substitute the values here. So in the place of a, I'll write 2 square. In the place of b, I'll write root 2, plus in the place of again a, I'll write 2 and b, I'll write root 2. So 2 square is 4 plus root 2 square is 2. 2 into 2, 4 root 2. So 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 4 root 2. Okay, see now we have to identify whether it is a rational number or not. So observe that 6 is a rational number, not a problem. 4 is a rational number, but there is root 2 here, root 2, which is an irrational number. So basically this answer has an irrational number in it. That is why this entire answer becomes irrational. We just had to state whether it is a rational or irrational. How to identify if there is this root number in the final answer? That means the number is a irrational number. Okay. Second one. Before that, many students make a common mistake here when they open this bracket. See, whenever you have a bracket like this, 2 plus root 2 the whole square, okay, you have to use the expansion formula to open the brackets. Few students, they just do it like this, 2 square plus root 2 square. They just simply give the square here also and here also, like this. This is wrong. You cannot open the brackets directly because there is a plus sign in between, and if there is a plus sign in between, you have to use the expansion formula where you will have a square plus b square plus this term also. Okay, so this is a wrong way, wrong method. By opening the brackets without using formula is wrong. Okay, so avoid making these mistakes. Now the second question is a similar one, 3 minus root 3 the whole square. We have to check whether the number is a rational or irrational. So let's open the bracket. So again, this same formula, a square plus b square plus 2ab. So a square is 3 square plus root 3 square plus 2ab. So 3 square is 9, root 3 square is 3 plus 2 3s are 6, root 3. So 9 plus 3 is 12 plus 6 root 3. This is my answer. Now in the answer I have this root 3 here. This root 3 is an irrational number, because of which this entire answer will become irrational. Understood? This entire answer becomes irrational because I have this root 3 component here. So we had to identify whether the numbers are rational or not. So first also we got irrational and second also irrational. Okay, let's check the third one now. So the third question they have given is 5 plus root 5, 5 minus root 5. Here 5 plus root 5, 5 minus root 5. A plus b, a minus b. Do you remember the formula? A plus b, a minus b. This formula, what is the formula? It becomes a square minus b square. So here also see you have 5 plus root 5, 5 minus root 5. So it will become 5 square minus root 5 square. 5 square is 25 minus root 5 square is I've told you square and root gets cancelled. So what you get is 5. 25 minus 5 is 20. Now I got the answer as 20. Now 20 is a normal number. 20 is a rational number. There is no irrational part here. So this answer here is rational. This is the way we solve the number and check whether the number is rational or no. So in the first question I got irrational, second also I got irrational, but third one I got as rational. I got the answer as rational number. Okay. Let's do the fourth one. Root 3 minus root 2 the whole square. Again here I'll use the formula. First term minus second term the whole square means a minus b the whole square. And what is the formula for a minus b the whole square? It is a square plus b square minus 2ab. A square plus b square minus 2ab. So a square means first term square. So here first term is root 3. Root 3 square plus root 2 square minus 2. A is root 3 and b is root 2. A square plus b square minus 2ab. Now root 3 square is 3. Root 2 square is 2 minus 2. Root 3 into root 2. Root 3 into root 2 is root 6. So 3 plus 2 is 5 minus 2 root 6. My answer is 5 minus 2 root 6. I have to check whether the answer is rational or no. So I'll see in this answer I have this irrational component root 6. Because of this my answer will become irrational, or you can simply write the answer is not rational or irrational, both are same. Okay, so this is the way we have to identify whether a given number is rational or no. Let's do the fifth one. So for the fifth question, we have been given 3 upon 2 root 2 the whole square. Okay, my question is 3 upon 2 root 2 the whole square. Now this whole square means this square is for the numerator also and for the denominator also. So 3 square is 9, 2 square is 4, root 2 square, the root sign will go away, root 2 square is 2. So 9 upon 4 2s are 8. So 9 upon 8 is my answer. Now in this answer there is no irrational part, everything is proper, it is a proper fraction. I mean it is a fraction, it is an improper fraction, but it's a normal number, it doesn't have any root sign or any value of pi, so this number is a rational number. Okay, if the answer has any root sign or cube root sign or it has pi, then we say that the number is irrational, but here my answer is clean. Okay, the sixth one, I want you to do it on your own. Okay, try it on your own and check whether the number is a rational or irrational number. Now the question number 2 in this exercise is the very basic one, where they have asked us to only square the given numbers. So just squaring the given numbers is very easy, like the first question, 3 root 5 upon 5. They have told to find the square of this. That means 3 root 5 the whole square. Okay, so 3 root 5 upon 5 the whole square. So 3 square is 9, root 5 square is 5, and 5 square in the denominator is 25. So 5 ones are, 5 5s are, my answer is 9 upon 5. That's it, only we have to take the square. So it is very simple question, this one. The second one is root 3 plus root 2 the whole square. How will you do it? Just apply the formula a plus b the whole square. It is a square plus b square plus 2ab. A square plus b square plus 2ab. So just apply, in the place of a write root 3, in the place of b root 2 plus 2ab. Just open these brackets, you will get the answer. It's a very easy question. In the question number 3, this you do it on your own, the next step. Okay, third one, again same, root 5 minus 2 the whole square. So this will be your a, this will be b. You have to apply the formula a minus b the whole square. The formula is a square plus b square minus 2ab. So in the place of a you write root 5, in the place of b write 2 minus 2a. A is root 5 and b is 2. Just open this, 5 plus this will become 4 minus 2 2s are 4 root 5. So answer is 9 minus 4 root 5. Very easy, simple squaring. Okay. And the fourth one also is similar. It is 3 plus 2 root 5. So this 3 will be a, 2 root 5 is b, and there is a plus sign, so you have to use the formula a plus b the whole square. B. Do it on your own. It's a very easy one, so I want you to give to you as homework, because once you solve it on your own, your confidence will increase. So, and check your answer behind. Okay. Once you solve it, never forget to check your answer, because you must know whether you have solved it correctly or not. So you should check your answer. Okay. Now we come to question number 13 directly. Okay. Question number 13 directly. Now this is a very important question, because it has some new concepts and some tricky part as well. So let's read the question. Write in ascending order. Write in ascending order. First of all, what is ascending order? Ascending order means small to big. Okay, smaller to big. In increasing order. Ascending order means what? In simple terms, it is in increasing order. Okay, you can write it somewhere in your textbook itself. This, if you do not know, if you get confused between ascending and descending, you can copy it there. The first question. The first question is 3 root 5 and 4 root 3. Now here we have to write in ascending order. To write in ascending order, we must know that one of these number is a smaller one and the other is the greater one. So whichever is the smaller one will come first, and then we'll write the greater one. But how to identify whether a number is a small or great number? That is the calculative part here, where you have to identify that which number is smaller. Either 3 root 5 is smaller or 4 root 3 is smaller. So how can we identify it? By comparing both the numbers. How to compare it? See carefully. First of all, here I ask you a simple question. If I have 5 into 9 inside the root, okay, this is a concept. I want you to revise this concept. Say, for example, I have inside the root, I have 5 into 9. So this 9 is nothing but 3 square. 9 is what? 9 is nothing but 3 into 3. Okay. So this root sign, because of this root sign, this 9 will come out and it will become 3. So this answer will become 3 root 5. Correct? See, this 9, I can explain you like this also. This 9 is nothing but 3 into 3. Okay. And when there is a pair, you have learnt in squares and square root chapter, in prime factorization method in 8th standard, that when you have a pair 3, this 3 will come outside and you will get the answer as 3 root 5. So when a number is a perfect square, it comes outside. Okay, we write it is a square of 3, so we write 3 outside. Okay, the squared value is inside, the root value is outside. Okay, so whenever a number comes outside, it gets its square root. We write the square root here. Okay, what if the number goes inside? For example, I have 3 root 5. So if I want to send this 3 again inside, if I want to send this 3 inside the root, I'll have to square it again. So it will become like this. If 3 goes inside, it will become 9. Correct? So this is what I want to make. I want you to remember that whenever a number from outside the root goes inside the root, it becomes square. If it is a square root, it will become square. If it is a cube root, it will become cube. We'll take a cube of that number. So here in this case, we have 3 root 5. If I want to send this 3 inside the root, the square of 3 is 9. So 9 will go inside the root. Okay, and our answer will be 5 nines are 45. Okay, now 4 root 3. This 4 root 3, 4 will go inside the root. If 4 goes inside the root, what is the square of 4? The square of 4 is 16. So 16 will go inside. So 3 into 16 is root 48. Why I did this? I did this because the number inside the root were different, the number outside the root were also different. So I was not able to compare them properly. Okay. But once I sent the number inside, now both the numbers are in same. This is square root of 45 and this is square root of 48. Now I can easily compare the numbers, that both numbers have root sign, and this number is 45 and this is 48. That means this number is a greater number. So root 48 is a greater number. So to write the answer in ascending order means the smaller number will come first and then the bigger number. So this one is the smaller number now. Okay, but while writing the answer, I can even write like this. 48 is greater than 45. But while writing the answer in ascending order means the smaller number will come first. So whatever value was given in the question, 3 root 5, that will come first, and then comma, you will write 4 root 3. Ascending order means this number is smaller and this number is greater. So I write the smaller number first and then the greater number. Okay, you can even write it like this. Okay, this also means the same. So I'll revise once again what we did. We first sent the number which was outside inside. Here also we send the number inside. Once I sent it, I got root 45 and root 48. I know that root 48 is greater than root 45. So this is a smaller number. That means this number will come first. So the question was 3 root 5 here. So 3 root 5 will come first and then 4 root 3. Okay. Copy this sum. In the second question, I have 2 cube root of 3 and 3 cube root of 2. See, remember, this number which is written in smaller font, which is written inside this root sign, indicates that whether it is a square root or a cube root or a fourth root, fifth root, like that. Okay. So this is a cube root, and in indices, we have learnt a concept that will be used in the next sum. Actually, first we'll do this sum directly. How to do it? That when this 2 goes inside the root, see here also I want to compare these numbers, and these both numbers have the same cube root. So what I'll do, I'll send this 2 inside the root. In the previous sum I had 3 root 5. So this 3 went inside and became 9 because it was a square root. But here it is a cube root. If it is a cube root, this 2 will go inside and we'll write the cube of 2 here inside the root. So it will be cube root of 5. This 2 cube. What is 2 cube? 2 into 2 into 2, that is 8. So whenever there is cube root, whichever root is there, the number will go inside, it will get multiplied that many times. If it is a cube root, the number will be multiplied 3 times, 2 into 2 into 2. So we get 8 inside the root. In the same manner here, when 3 goes inside, what is the cube of 3? Cube of 3 means 3 into 3 into 3, that is 27. So here when 3 goes inside the root, it will become 27. So this 8 into 5 is nothing but 40, and 27 into 2 is nothing but 54. Now we got both the answers. Once we have both the answers, we can compare now. Which number is greater? This 54 is greater. 54 is greater means that this 3 cube root of 2 is greater than 2 cube root of 5. Okay, means this is a smaller number. So smaller number will be written first because it is ascending order, and this is the greater number or the bigger number. Okay, this is my answer. You can write a comma also here. We have to arrange in ascending order. So the smaller number comes first and then the bigger number. But the solving part is important, that here you had cube root sign. So this 2 when goes inside the root will get cubed. Okay, copy the sum. Now I have this question, the third one. I have 3 numbers to compare now, but it's okay, we'll use the same method, and we have square root here. So when this 6 will go inside the root, it will become 36, the square of 6. So I'll write for the first one, 6 goes inside the root, it became 36. 7 goes inside the root, it will become 7 square is 49. This 8 goes inside the root. 8 square is 64. Okay. Now we'll multiply these numbers to get the final answer. So 5 into 36 is square root of 180. 3 into 49 is 147. 147. And here 2 into 64 128. Now I have to write in ascending order. Ascending means the smallest number will come first. So this is the smallest number. So smallest number is 8 root 2. In the final answer, you cannot use these values. We have to use the values which are given in the question. So first 8 root 2 will come. Second, the smallest number. The smaller number second is 147. That is 7 root 3. So I'll put this sign and I'll write 7 root 3, which means 7 root 3 is greater than 8 root 2. And third, the biggest value is this, which is 6 root 5, which is greater than both of them. Okay, so this is my answer arranged in ascending order. I hope you've understood the value, how we get the value and the concept. Okay, they're directly able to compare the numbers because the numbers have square root or all roots are same. So we shifted the number inside. We got 36, 49, 64. Then we multiplied. It was easily able to compare the answer. Okay, this is how ascending is done. In the same way we do descending also, all steps are same. Just in the end, we will arrange it in the decreasing order. That means the bigger number will come first and then the smaller numbers. That is the only difference. So the 14th question is also the same. The 14th question is, first one is 2 4th root of 6 and 3 4th root of 2. 2 4th root of 6. Fourth root means when 2 will go inside the root, it will get multiplied 4 times. See, square root means the number is getting multiplied 2 times. Cube root means the number is getting multiplied 3 times. And fourth root Here when the small 4 is written, it means the number will get multiplied 4 times. Okay, I hope you've understood. So this 2 will go inside. It will be 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. 4 times basically. You can also write it like this. 4th root of 6 into this 2 came inside, it become 2 raised to 4. Okay. And here this 3 when it will go inside, it will become 3 raised to 4. 3 into 3 into 3, because you are sending it inside the root, so it is the 4th root. That means you have to multiply it 4 times. Now this value 2 raised to 4, 2 raised to 4 is 16. Okay, so 4th root 6 into 16, 6 into 16 is 96. Here I have 2 into 3 raised to 4. So 2 into, now what is 3 raised to 4? See, you must learn a few values. That 3 raised to 4 is 81. Okay, and 81 into 2 is 162. So now I have both the numbers in 4th root. I can compare the numbers directly. So how will I compare the numbers? The smaller number is 96. So this one is the smaller number, 2 4th root of 6. But here the 14th sum is about the descending order. Descending means in the decreasing order. Okay. Decreasing means the bigger number will come first. So this is the bigger number here. This bigger number will come first. So my answer will be like this. Is greater than which number? 4th root of 96. The question is 2 4th root of 6. So it is 2 4th root of 6. Understood? See, there was 4 here. So when I sent the number inside the root, it got multiplied 4 times. Here also 4. Then we made the calculations, and this is how we compared them. So we got that this number is bigger number, so the bigger number comes first, then the smaller number. Copy it down, pause the video and copy it down. Next sum, that will be the last sum for today. I'll do it here. The sum is 7 root 3 and 3 root 7. Okay, normal root. It is not a cube root, not a 4th root. It is normal square root. Okay, so when 7 goes inside, it will get squared. So I'll get 49. When 3 goes inside, it will become 7 into 3. 3s are 9. So 49 into 3 is 147. And 7 into 9 is 63. So simply we can see this number is the greater number. So in the final answer, this number will come first. That is 7 root 3 will come first. Is greater than, the second number is root 63. That is 3 root 7. Okay. This is how we compare the numbers and write them in ascending and descending order. Okay. That's it for today. In the next video, we'll do the remaining sums from 15 to 20 and we'll complete this exercise as well. Okay. Copy this sum